Hi, this is Fred Barstein with 401k TV here in Valparaiso, Indiana. Just completed a TPSU program at Valparaiso, and I am here with Bjarne Henderson. Welcome.
Thank you, Fred. Nice to be here.
Thank you. Okay, if we ask you a few questions.
Sure, I'd be glad to.
Okay, so before we do, why don't you just introduce yourself, a little bit about your organization?
I'm the Director of Human Resources and Labor Relations for the South Shoreline. We operate a passenger train service between Chicago and South Bend, Indiana.
Oh, great.
There's about 380 employees, 330 of which are in labor unions and 50 of which are in management.
Great. So you go to a lot of Notre Dame games?
Yes, we do. We even run special trains to serve our Notre Dame fans.
Very good. So today in the TPSU program, you mentioned you don't allow loans.
Right. Our plan was set up as actually a recruiting tool.
Yes.
And so we already have a supplemental pension plan through the Railroad Retirement Board, and it's a defined benefit plan, and we wanted another tool that would help us encourage people to stay.
Yeah.
So our plan was set up from the start as a supplemental retirement plan.
Yep.
It was marketed that way.
Yeah.
The unions also bought into it as a supplemental retirement plan.
Right.
And our plan benefit documents have always stated that there's no loans permitted.
Right, right.
So from the start, our educational process has made it clear that this is money to be used in the future. And so we're fairly rigid in only allowing funds to be taken out when somebody retires or leaves employment.
And so a lot of plan sponsors allow loans because they're afraid if they don't, people aren't going to participate. Do you think it's hurt your participation at all?
No, because in our circumstance, there's no requirement to co-participate. This is dollars that are invested directly by the company. So,
but do they also have the ability to participate themselves?
We're looking at that in the future, but at the present time, no.
Right. So even it's not a voluntary, so that it's free, but you don't. As part of that, you're not allowing the loans.
Not at the present time.
But you could if you wanted to.
Yes, we've set up our plan documents that it could be permitted, but at the present time, we're not authorizing.
So why, if you did, and what are maybe the pressure to allow that, if there is any pressure? Is there?
There hasn't been, because again, with the educational process, our employees realize that this is a retirement fund. It is for them in the future, and it's not something that should be compromised.
So it's a very clear message of what this is. It's not a savings account. It's not a piggy bank.
Correct. Correct. It's not something to draw against.
It's not, right.
I've been the Human Resource Director now for about 5 years, and I've had one request for a withdrawal, and we reluctantly said, sorry, we can't honor that.
We can't do that. So what when people have emergencies, where do they turn?
Well, they tend to look to other sources of funds because they recognize that the supplemental retirement plan is not a source of emergency funds.
I got it. Great. Final question for you. Sure. TPSU, what did you think? Would you recommend it?
I really enjoyed this program. It helped us look at where we need to benchmark our programs, what we're doing right, what we need to improve on, what should be changed, what's the latest in the current Washington view.
Right.
All of that was very helpful, and I recommend this TPSU wholeheartedly.
Yeah, and it's so maybe a little interesting because you have for-profit companies, which is a little different, and you learn from that.
Right. We're a public agency, so it's always nice to see what the private sector's doing.
Yeah.
And then share with the private sector some of the things we're doing.
We like to see what you're doing, where our taxpayer dollars are going.
Yes, and we spend them very carefully.
Very good. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you for watching 401k TV.